much for that, Angela and Shelley. Can I also acknowledge Wade? Wade, you seem to be our affirmative action person here today, because on International Women's Day, it's kind of nice to be the local member, to have our chair as a woman, to have our mayor as a woman, to have a new councillor as a woman. And Angela, looking around the room at the pictures of the old mayors, of the former mayors, I should say, not the old mayors, it does seem that maybe we've got a little bit of work to balance things out yet. Although I know, of course, we haven't got the most contemporary of the photos up here. I'm delighted to be able to be here as well. Despite all my times of coming to this town hall, it's actually the first time I've been in this room, and the restoration work is beautiful and it is a lovely facility. So to be able to see some of our local history and then go and have a look in the exhibition in a gorgeous new library at a lot about Canberra's history, I think is wonderful. And whilst we'd like to think, Shelley, your connection might have got us here in Williamstown, I don't think that's actually the case. It's really, I think, a fitting place to be able to have this exhibition. I do want to really acknowledge something that Angela mentioned about the library. Just in the time that I've been the member here, I've been to the opening of 3 new libraries, Altona North, Altona Meadows, and one here at Williamstown. And I do think it's something that Angela, but the council as a whole, have been very committed to, and it's great work because libraries, we know, open up the world for so many people, particularly for people who might not otherwise travel. And so I think it's very fitting when we're then looking at another part of the country for the exhibition to be able to tour around. Not everyone will come to Canberra in the 100-year celebration, although I hope lots of people will, and we certainly host lots of school children all the time up in Canberra. But to be able to come to a local place, to be able to, a place of learning as well, and to be able to see a little bit about this interesting time, I think is a wonderful opportunity. So congratulations to the council for that. People have basically told you what this exhibition is about and told you a lot about the library. I do just want to focus a bit on the opportunity that it gives us to see the beautiful work done by both the Griffins. Angela's mentioned that Walter Burley Griffin's wife is perhaps not mentioned as much, but it was really a true partnership, and one where we, especially on International Women's Day, want to recognise that perhaps more silent side of things. Now, of course, everyone in Australia knows that Canberra is the national capital. It's usually the butt of some joke about what people would or wouldn't know in Canberra. It's hard to imagine that about 100 years ago, well, a little more than 100 years ago, the Fisher Labor government, when King O'Malley was the Minister for Home Affairs, actually announced that there was going to be an international competition to design our capital. And the competition rules were interesting because they required each plan to allocate sites for a wide range of the public buildings and facilities and institutions. Excellence and modernity were expected. Entrants had to embody in their designs all the recent developments in science of town planning. And I think it's interesting when you go to Canberra that it stood the test of time. So obviously they chose very well. 137 entries from designers locally and from around the world were submitted, and in May 1912 King O'Malley announced entry number 29 as the winner. Of course, you wouldn't expect something like this to be without controversy, and when you think about other designers, when you think about the controversy that surrounded the Opera House, and it's not an uncommon thing. But I think now we can see, as Canberra stood the test of time, how lucky we were to have a very visionary and determined government at that time who believed in this importance of planning for the modern Australia, and that actually the design of our capital was the envy of the world. I do have to say, I've been going to Canberra for a long time, and I don't get lost in Canberra, but people always say, oh my God, driving in Canberra is terrible. I actually think, though, that Angela is right about the circle in Altona being influenced in some ways, because every time I've been to Circle, I've got lost. And I have been quite often, so it's also more embarrassing that I haven't been able to make that work. The design itself, the Burley Griffins were Chicago architects. Angela has mentioned that this was developed in partnership, Walter Burley with his wife, Marion Marnie. And the pictures that you'll see, if some of you haven't had a chance to already, are really quite amazing, even more amazing when you think it was 100 years ago because it was such a contemporary and bold plan for a city of the future, unlike any other, conscious of history and nature. And interestingly, Walter Burley Griffin's vision was for people above politics, but nature above all. And for people thinking about that when they travel to Canberra, the mountain vistas that ring Canberra, the tree-lined boulevards, community gardens, a lot of open space, the central lake, all of the national institutions are visible from certain points around Canberra. And in 1913, Walter Burley Griffin said, Australia's capital offers the best opportunity to express the possibilities of individual freedom, comfort and convenience for public spirit, wealth and splendour of the great democratic ideal. So something worth us always remembering as well. When the winners were announced, not only was the plan chosen as the best one, but there was a specific mention of the wonderful manner in which the work was depicted. Again, a compliment to the partnership of the Griffins. So I want to not talk for any longer and give people an opportunity to go and have a look at the fabulous new library and, of course, the exhibition. And to thank the National Capital Authority and National Archives Australia for having this as a touring exhibition, have it come here to Hobsons Bay. I hope all of you will pass on to others, friends, colleagues, to come and have a look at this exhibition and indeed to have a look at the new library. And perhaps also an opportunity to talk to people about other interesting bits of our history, to have this exhibition come to Melbourne when, of course, this is where the first sittings of the Parliament were held, more than 100 years ago, of course. And I think it's just a nice way for us to look at the links. I hope we have many more links in the future between Canberra and Hobsons Bay. I'm sure they're not all going to be sanitary ones, Angela. I did think that if that was our first, it was a pretty amazing design. And as someone who got married in the Science Works pumping station, luckily only a few elderly people said, what exactly did they pump from this building that we're having our dinner in? So let's not go into that. So congratulations to everyone, and it gives me great pleasure to officially open the Grand Visions display here in Hobsons Bay. Well done.